Hello, friends. I'm Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and welcome to my craft corner. If you are here and joining me live, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I love it when you're here live and can ask questions and make comments. It's so much fun. If you're watching the replay, welcome to you as well. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know that you're watching the replay because I love to know that you guys are watching the replays as well. So I'm really excited tonight because I am going to be sharing some masculine cards. Y'all, Father's Day is coming up in June, right? I mean, it's only May, but somehow we are already to the 12th of May. It's almost the middle of May already, which means Father's Day is going to be here before we know it. So I thought this would be an excellent opportunity for us to make some cards for guys, including some Father's Day cards and other cards as well. So I'm going to make a couple cards for you, and then I have some other samples to share too. All right, before I get started, if you are watching on YouTube, in the description to this video, you are going to find a whole bunch of links. And in there, you're going to find links to hop over to my website. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a post going up on my website with all the details from today's live demonstration, as well as the supply lists and all that kind of good stuff. So that will be over on my website. You can find the link in the description to the video. There's also a link on there to join my newsletter so you can get a free tutorial every week. I would love to share my newsletter with you and let you know all my upcoming classes, specials that are going on. And then, of course, every week I send out a free tutorial to everyone. So really awesome deal. Go ahead and click the description of this video and then click on the link to join my newsletter. Hi, Carol Sue, welcome. So glad you are here. All right, I'm gonna flip my cameras around so that we can get stamping. All right, let me get the right one. There we go. All right, Onigo, let's get stamping. Here is the catalog I wanna show you. We're gonna be using the He's the Man suite of products. I am absolutely loving this. Now, I shared, a couple weeks ago, I shared in a video, in the sneak peek video, I shared some cards using just the paper and the die cuts from the paper. Now I have the bundle as well, the stamps and the dies. And so I'm really excited to share those with you. This is on page 78 and 79, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I'm really, really loving this. And you can do so much with just the paper. But I thought, you know what, tonight we're going to show you the stamps and the dies too, because they're really awesome. And I think the dies are going to be great for all sorts of things. So here are the stamps, and there's all sorts of great stamp sayings in here. Whew, having trouble speaking already. Hi, Kimberly, welcome. So wishing you a happy Father's Day. Love this guy. Hello, handsome. To the man who does everything. Happy birthday to a classic. Together for the long haul. Every day with you is another adventure. Holy smokes, you're amazing. So I just love all these sentiments. A lot of different things that are going to work for all sorts of different guys, because not all guys are the same, right? All right, I'm going to set that aside. And then, of course, we have the dies. Now, I think these dies are going to be great for all sorts of things, because what they are is they're basically just label dies. So even if you don't want the masculine stamps, these dies are going to be great for so many other things as well. So really fun. All right. Now the paper, and I've showed this before, but I just want to show you again. So here is the paper. Now it has 5 different designs, double-sided designs, really pretty. Well, I shouldn't say pretty, very, brown and Sahara sand and Cajun craze and soft succulent. Yeah. And then on the back, we just have some really nice patterns, really good patterns, good for all sorts of things. Now, instead of having 6 designs in this packet, the 6th sheet is actually a whole bunch of die cuts. Now I just went ahead and I punched them out because they just punch out. So they're really cool. And that's what I used last time when I shared a card that just used the paper. And I just put these in an extra little plastic envelope I had because they were all starting to fall out anyway, and it was driving me nuts. So I just punched them all out and stuck them in there. All right, we'll set those aside, trying to get everything out of my way so I can start the actual stamping. Now, not only are we making masculine cards tonight, but we're actually going to make some slimline cards. I really like slimline cards. They're kind of fun, something a little bit different, and they're not any harder to make. They're still super easy. So here I have a piece of cardstock. This is just 7 inches by 8.5 inches, and I just scored it at 3.5. So when we fold this in half, what we get is we get a card. I'm going to find my bone folder. We get a card that is 3.5 by 8.5, and it just makes this really nice long card. And this is going to work with Stampin' Up's Slimline Envelopes. So here's the Slimline Envelopes, and what I love, we're going to use these tonight because they match the cardstock. They come with the soft succulent, which matches the designer series paper. And then there's also gray ones and some white ones too. So really awesome. So I just took my early espresso and just folded that in half to make my card base. And then I have a whole bunch of bits and pieces of everything here. I have another piece of early espresso, and this piece is 3.25 by 8.25. And then I have a couple pieces of the cardstock. Now this piece of cardstock is 3.125 by I think 5.5. 3.125 by 5. And I'm just going to start by adhering this to the top of my extra piece of early espresso. Now you know me, I like to layer the same color on top of each other. Just, it's subtle, but I think it just does something. So this is going to go at the top of this piece of early espresso. Just try to get it straight. And then this piece is 3.125. And then I think it's like 3.125 by 3.25. Whew, that is tricksy right there. So I just want to make sure I have it go in the right direction. There we go. And I think I got my paper off a little bit, but it will be okay. We'll make it work. Never like that when it's not quite straight and I miss it before it adheres itself. Normally that's why I like the multi-purpose glue, because you can shift it a little bit, but I didn't see that it was just a tiny bit crooked, and there's such a small border on this that it starts to show. So, but we'll make it work. There we go. All right, so I just adhered that right on the bottom. Now, I want to cut, I'm gonna grab my die cuts, and I'm gonna use this really cool one. There's this fun diamond die cut in there. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one out while I'm at it too. And there's actually two. I'm just gonna use one for right now. I'm gonna pull out my mini cut and emboss machine. My mini boss. Little bits of everything here. All right. So now I have a piece of the soft succulent cardstock. I keep wanting to say soft seafoam because I was using that for something else today, and it's not. It's soft succulent. So I'm just going to cut one of these little diamonds out of here, and the soft succulent matches that cool, what do I want to say, that cool camping paper that's in here. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this through my mini machine. Ooh. Got to put some arm muscle into it. All right. Set my machine back on the floor. And now here is this diamond. And I'm just going to take your pick tool, and I'm just going to pop out. They just pop right out, the little pieces. Now, I did cheat a little bit, and through the magic of television, I already cut 2 others of these because I actually want 3 for this card. So I kind of pre-cut a few things for us. So where is my card? There it is. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to put these on the front, and here's my other 2. And I'm just going to kind of lay these out. I think I want them kind of like that. All right. So we'll go ahead and adhere these, and I am going to go ahead and just let them kind of go off the sides just a little bit. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab my silicone craft sheet, and somewhere here I have a sponge. Y'all, my craft table is crazy, crazy, crazy right now. Where'd that little bit of sponge go? It, of course, has gone on a holiday, I think. It's taken a little vacation. All right, well, we'll grab another one. Now, normally I have a little bit of a sponge that is on a binder clip, and I just use that to sponge glue on. But it's taken a vacation. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of sponge. from my bin. And we're just going to go ahead and just kind of put this glue on a little bit. Now I use the silicone craft sheet because any glue that gets on there, once I'm done, I can go ahead and just peel that off. And I am just spreading this out just like that. And then we will add it to the card front. And I'm kind of trying to keep it lined up with the diamonds. I'm not trying to put it over top of the diamonds, just trying to keep it lined up a little bit so it's straight with those. All right. Again, just putting a little bit of adhesive. Now, if I thought ahead, I could use the adhesive sheets. I never think ahead, and I always forget to use them. So that's my scoop. How far do I want to put this? Let's put this right there. All right. And we're going to put this one up here. So we'll just sponge that on. I'm just getting glue kind of all over the back. I just don't want it to smoosh out when I glue it on. So that's why I just want a little bit of glue on there. And this is going to go up here. So it's on the green, but that's okay. It looks fun. All right, now I have these little bits that are hanging off, right? So you know what I do with those? You know I like to go outside my frame. So I'll just snip those off. Just like that. And I'm going to grab some linen thread, and I'm actually going to wrap this around here 3 times. I just wanted to give it a little bit extra oomph. So I'm going to wrap it 3 times, and then we'll tie it. And even though this is a masculine card, I'm still going to tie it in a bow. So if I can tie a bow tonight, it's been a little bit hit or miss with my bows the last couple days, getting them tight. See, that's loose. Because I like my bows to be nice and tight. Some days they work and some days they just don't. And lately it's been a just don't days. Kind of goes in streaks, you know. Oh, see, super loose again. Oh. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just snip that off. Sometimes that helps to actually cut my linen thread. So normally I like to wait to the end to cut it just so that I can save as much as I can. I don't know. It's the not Dutch. It's the Dutchness in me, even though I'm not Dutch, that I always like to be really careful, conservative with my stuff, so I don't use too much. All right. So we're going to give it a big bow. Now let's go ahead and we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So I have a piece of basic white right here. And I'm going to pull out my early espresso ink. So this is just going to match. Now, I did not do a super good job getting this straight, but that's okay, getting my stamp straight with the label. But that's okay because we're going to cut it out. So it's not going to be a big deal. But you can see it's just a little bit angled. Oh, and that did not. So the middle of the stamp has been giving me some troubles, that the very center doesn't always stamp real well. Well, that's a little bit better. I kind of lose the definition on the windows. All right, now normally I would grab some soft succulent Stampin' Blends for this, but I do not have soft succulent Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit, and I'm using my macaron. Now, if you put it right next to it, it does not Sorry about that, folks. I have lost my other camera. I'm not really sure why. I think it got too hot. So let me see. I got to figure out what I can do. I'll bring in something else. Maybe. Oh, all right. Hold with me just a minute. I think my phone just got too hot. It is really, really warm in my stamp room today. And I think, oops, that was not what I wanted to do. And I think my phone just got too hot because it's plugged in. Yeah, my phone turned itself off because it's just hot. So we'll have to see if we can get this set up. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me at least? You can see me, right? Can you hear what I'm saying? I turned on my other mic, so I'm hoping that that's working. Maybe I'll pull this out. Let me know if you can hear me. All right. Send that here. Whew. All right. Yes, you can hear me. Awesome. I'm glad you can hear me at least. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna pop in my iPad instead of my phone. But I have to get my iPad holder. So give me just a minute. We'll just do a switcheroo here. Move that out of the way. We'll put this in, maybe. Gotta get this twisted the right direction. And then I whack myself in the head with it. Y'all, see, this is what you normally don't get to see. Me setting things up and whacking myself in the head. All right. So let's see. And now you can hear me too, Joan. Oh, I'm so glad. So tell me about what you're up to while I rearrange my technology here and get back to my coloring. All right. Get in. Whew, is it warm where you are? It is so warm here. So warm. All right. Oops. And I shut my windows because there was just enough breeze blowing that it was blowing papers everywhere. And I've been working on cutting apart the paper share. And so since I was cutting apart the paper share, I didn't want, things were blowing and I had to shut the windows, which means now it is really, really warm in here. All right. I'm going to put my mic back on, maybe. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can do this. Oops. There we go. We're almost there. We're almost in business. All right. So, oops. Y'all can't see it, but I almost got this. So things are not going to be centered because centering is going to be hard. I'm going to go ahead and flip around Coral Drizzle. I'm going to go ahead and flip around my sound again. So I'm probably going to cut out for just a minute, but don't worry. I'll be back. So. All right, now hopefully you guys can hear me again and you can see my hands again, yay. And I'm totally not centered anymore because there's only so much I can do. I'm trying to go fast here. So I do want to make sure that I go ahead and I plug in my iPad though, because if I don't, chances are it will die too. And then I'll be really stuck. So, all right. Thank you for bearing with me during this little technology fiasco. So as I was saying, I am coloring my little van with some mint macaron because I don't have the soft succulent. I'm just going to use the dark on the surfboard on the top. So anyway, yeah, and this reminds me of the big van we had when I was a kid. It was green and white. So even though it wasn't a cool VW van like this one is. All right, so I'm going to use this die right here, which is the circle with like a, I don't know, it's got like a, I don't know what you call it, a zigzag edge. I have no idea what you call that. It looks like a metal or something. And hopefully this fits. My paper is just a little bit big, but this is just going to go right over the top here. And I'm going to grab a little piece of washi and just stick this down. Hopefully it's centered. And it moved on me. All right, there we go. We'll see. We'll see how well this works. Stick it through and just run that through. Zoop, zoop, zoop. All right. So together for the long haul. I think that's so cute. Plus I love the VW van. All right. So there, and that's pretty well centered. And now I just want to take this. This is going to go right here on my card front. So I'm going to adhere this with some Stampin' Dimensionals because you guys know I love Stampin' Dimensionals. Everything has to have some dimensionals. So I'll just put some dimensionals on here. Peel those backs right off. And then I can just pop that over the top. I'm going to trim up my strings. So, you know, I have my paper snips, but these are my ribbon snips. I got my little piece of ribbon on the end to show me that they're my ribbon snips. And then this is going to go on my card front. And I'm just going to adhere this flat. Probably have too much glue because it's warm and so the glue is just a flowing. All right. There we go. Isn't that cute? We're going to do one more thing. Now in this suite, there are some, there's like some rustic metallic dots. I don't have those yet. So I'm actually just going to pull out my brushed metallic dots. And these are in the mini catalog. And I'm just going to use these on the front. So I'm going to put 3 of these coppery colored ones. I think I'm just going to slide them in here just to give it a little extra something. Try to get them straight, which is always hard. You try to get straight lines. There we go. And then, because this is a dark cardstock, I definitely need to put an inside liner on here. So I just have a piece of basic white, and it is 8 1/4 by 3 1/4. I have to think about that for a minute. And I just have a little strip of the designer series paper. I think it's 8 1/4 by a 1/2 inch. Actually, it's probably extra long. I left it long. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that to the side, and then we'll trim it off. And then I have another one that's like really skinny, 1/4 inch or something, just because sometimes it's fun to have 2. So then we'll just take this and can I line it up? Oh, I think I can line it up even. Look at that. Yeah. And just a little bit of white in between there just gives it a nice little line. Hi, Mom. Welcome. If you missed the beginning, you can always go back and watch the replay. But mostly you're going to see me have to change cameras because because we lost our camera. We had to switch around, but we made it. Y'all are so awesome hanging with me. All right, so there's the inside of my card, and we'll just go ahead and adhere this to the inside. Now, I have another card to share with you tonight, too, because I couldn't just do one. So this would make a great anniversary card, right? Together for the long haul. So there's the inside of our card. And just a fun slimline card. Super easy. Super, super easy. All right. Let me pull out my supplies for my other card. Pull them over here. Set things aside. All right. Here we go. So, and I pre-cut everything for this card because I just, make it go a little bit faster. So I'm going to start. I am using Sahara Sand and Early Espresso. Now, I have a piece of Sahara Sand, and it is, thank you, Kimberly. I'm so glad you love it. It is 2 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. All right. And I am going to use my Sahara Sand ink pad. So we have Sahara Sand and Sahara Sand. And I'm using this little arrow stamp that says, love this guy, which I think is cute. It would be great for scrapbooking too. So, and I am just going to stamp this like that 3 times. We're going to do this a couple times. So just like that, really easy. And now I have the little circle that says number 1. And again, I kind of missed getting my label on, so I'm actually going to check this. Let me see. All right, so there we go. That's pretty good. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just stamping this a couple times and re-inking it. Just kind of making a background. So there's just some fun paper. Really easy. And then I have the stamp that says Happy Father's Day on it. And I have a little piece of white. This is 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. And I'm going to grab my Early Espresso ink pad. We'll just ink that up with the Early Espresso. And get that on there. There we go. Very nice. And then I pre-cut the rectangle using the dies. Now, what's really cool about these dies, it's hard to see, but it leaves this little bit of like an embossed edge on it. So it kind of gives it a nice finished look to it. And I'm just going to take my little Happy Father's Day, and we'll just adhere that to the Early Espresso. Just like that. And now, all right, got a whole bunch of pieces here. So I have this piece of Sahara Sand that I have stamped, and I'm going to put it on another piece of Early Espresso that is 2 1/2 by 5 3/4, I think. Basically a 1/4 inch bigger, both directions, because that's how, I do my laters. You just start adding, just like that. All right. And then I have a piece of Sahara Sand cardstock, 8 1/2 by 7 again, and just scored it at 3 1/2. So I'll just go ahead and fold this in half and give it a good squish with my bone folder. And now I have a piece of the Designer Series paper in the Sahara Sand. And this is, I think, 1 1/2 inches, 1 1/4 inches by like 1 1/2 inches by probably 7. I measured it earlier today, and I'm just going to put that on the front, kind of over to the edge, and it's kind of more towards the top than the bottom. And then I have a piece of that fun diamond pattern again. And this is, I think, 1 inch by 8 inches. And this is just going to go right over top. And we're going to put it kind of over to the left of that Sahara sand pattern paper. And it's going to lap over the top and the bottom. Just kind of give us a little design. And then we'll go ahead and put our stamped piece on there. And this is just going to go, again, kind of, slightly more towards the top than the bottom. Not quite centered on the card. I kind of want it over to the left a little bit. All right. Now, in the dies, they have these dies for these little flags. There's straight ones, and then there's the curvy ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, I want to put this about right here. So I'm going to start with a straight one. Oops. Spread that glue out a little bit. Got a little too much. And this I'm going to put right about here. Okay. And then I'm just going to move this. I'm going to take the other straight one. And I'm going to put it just above. And to the right. So it's going to go about right there. Okay. So we got 2 on there. And now I'm going to take this curvy one and I'm going to grab a mini dimensional, because I always like to make flags, sometimes part of them kind of flapping up. So we're just going to put a dimensional on the end of that. I'm going to pull off the back. And then I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive of multi-purpose glue up at the top there. And then this is just going to come in here. So there we have 3 little ribbon things. And then I want to grab my linen thread again, and I'm just going to take a little piece of linen thread, just like that, and cut it. And I'm going to just grab a piece of tape. Nothing fancy, just grabbing a piece of tape. And I'm going to tape this at the top, just like that. All right. And then I just want to fray these ends a little bit. So I'm just going to twist them and unravel them just a little bit. Actually, I probably should cut them first. I'll go ahead and cut them because I don't want them, that's a little bit long. So we're going to cut this one here and this one down here. Brush all the extras away. All right. Let's just unravel some of that. So just kind of give it a rustic look to it. And then that little Happy Father's Day, we're going to use some dimensionals and adhere that to the card front. Now my dimensionals are almost gone, so I'm just going to take my scissors and snip the edges. Got to use all the dimensionals. So I'll just snip around. And I can use those side bits too. Get those all in there. All right. Peel all those backs off. And there's my little Father's Day. And that is just going to go right up here and off the edge just a little bit. So there we go. And then we'll make a inside for this too. So I have another piece of basic white. And then, thanks, Kimberly. And then I just have another piece of that designer series paper. And this is just, like a 1/4 inch. And we'll just put a little bit of adhesive on there. And then we'll just put this on the side just to give it a little something. Just like that. We'll just do one on this one. We'll add some multi-purpose glue to the back. And then this goes right inside our card. slide that into place. And there we go. Isn't that fun? And of course, these are going to look awesome with those slimline envelopes. So we got some nice, soft, succulent slimline envelopes to go with them. And I love these envelopes. Look at that. They got design on the inside. So really awesome. Now we could take one. We could take this one. And I have that stamp that says, love this guy. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put it like right here. So when I write the address on here, it's like right there. Isn't that fun? All right. Now let me show you. I got a couple more samples. So let me show you my other samples too. I dig them out from under here. So I have this one. Super, super easy. Again, just designer series paper, right? And I cut a couple more of those tags. And then the inside says, wishing you a happy Father's Day. So just really easy, easy peasy. And then this one, if you guys were watching me a week or so ago, I shared how to, I guess it was last week, I shared how to use white ink inside your embossing folders and emboss it. And so that's what I did for that piece right there is I embossed it with the Hive 3D embossing folder. And then I actually tore it. So you actually have black on top of black, and I just tore the bottom here. See if you can see that. And then I just stamped those little screws underneath. And I added a little embellishment at the top with some of those little flags. And I kind of like stapled on, I stapled on the linen thread there too. So, and then of course on the inside, it says Happy Father's Day. So really easy cards, super fun to make. And like I said, I just love this set. I love the paper. The paper is really fun. You can make cards with just the paper, but the stamp set's really great too. And I can't wait to use these dies for other things because I think the dies are going to work awesome. I'm trying to flip around my cameras here. I got my finger in the wrong spot. So I think those dies are going to be amazing to use with all sorts of other stamps too. So watch for that in the coming weeks. And thank you so much for joining me again tonight. Like I said, I am going to have information about these cards up on my website tomorrow morning. So you can check over there for more details starting Friday morning. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you everyone for joining me. Have a fabulous evening. And I will see you guys on Tuesday for Stamp With Me Tuesdays, where we will be doing fabulous fun folds. See you then. Bye-bye.